What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing great. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Sony a7 III and the a7R III, specifically picture profiles. Now, every time I'm in a Sony forum, all I see is which picture profile is best for low lighting, which one looks better on Instagram, which one can I grade a ton, which one out of body can I just upload onto the internet without having to do any correction. Now, each picture profile has a specific use and I wanna break it down for you. So when I'm booking a shoot or I'm planning a shoot, there's a couple things I like to ask myself. One, who is it for? Is this a passion project? Am I filming B-roll for YouTube or looking to do a little travel style video? Or is this for a high-paying client that wants a cinematic grade? Or am I just filming some interviews and I'm gonna chop them up and just give it to the client? So let's think about it. So if a client came up to me and they're like, I want some expo coverage, a highlight video, interviews, I'm not gonna film that in SLOG2 or CINE4. I personally think the eoshd or the PP1 or 2, whichever one's the movie mode, I think it's 2, looks the best for this type of client work. And the whole reason why is I don't want to grade hours of interview footage when the client doesn't really expect that. So what I'm trying to say is not every piece of your work requires you to shoot in a log or cine format because it's just not practical. As you guys get busier and busier, you're gonna need to speed up your workflow. And the last thing you wanna do is shoot a real estate property in SLOG2 and have to find out that the walls just look like trash. And I'm gonna show you guys. Now, another thing you guys want to consider is where is this going? Is it going up on Vimeo, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Instagram stories, Snapchat? Now, all these different social media platforms have different compression rates when you upload your footage. If you guys know, Instagram is absolutely horrible for putting up dope edited videos. And when I shoot with no picture profile or CINE4, my footage always looks cleaner than SLOG2 because it just has to compress that grade, and then the shadows and the contrast, everything just looks muddy and it looks horrible. And the last thing you want to do is send off a client some footage that looks great, and the second they upload it for one of their sponsored ads, it just looks destroyed. Now, I mentioned in my last video, I was kicking it with Will Davis, who not only is an awesome photographer, you guys should check him out. I'll link his Instagram below, but he's also a 49er or former 49er. And we were doing a collaboration with this company called BoxRaw. They make incredible boxing and fitness apparel. Now, they approached me asking that they want Instagram stories, they want Facebook edits for promotional work, for advertising and on the feed, and then also on Instagram feed. So right away, I knew I was gonna shoot in CINE4 or no picture profile. Now, the next thing I think to myself is, do they want me to have clean footage straight out of camera like what you guys are seeing right now, didn't touch a thing, or do they want some sort of gritty edit? So with this type of concept, I did reach out to the creative director and I said, hey, listen, here's our options. Now, CINE4 does get a little bit compressed, and he knew what I was talking about right away. He's like, listen, I want a grungy type of edit, a little bit desaturated. And I said, got you, I'm shooting in CINE4. So just anytime that you're planning a shoot, just try to think ahead, talk to the director of photography that you're working with. If there's a DP or a creative director, they know about cameras, they know about looks and visions that they have in their head already. And if the creative freedom is solely up to you, like you're doing a product video or you're hiring a model and you're doing some sort of product shoot, just think ahead. It'll save you a lot of stress. The footage is gonna look dope on the internet, and therefore you don't have to stress yourself out and you could have fun with the overall results of the shoot. Now let's talk about the different benefits of using the different picture profiles. We're gonna start with SLOG2. I'm not gonna touch on SLOG3 because I personally don't shoot it, so I'm not gonna give you guys some information if I don't know what I'm talking about. So I shot a lot of SLOG2 for different client projects, and just the grading process was very lengthy and it took a lot of time, and I love the results, but it really wasn't necessary. So I personally shoot SLOG2 when I'm doing passion projects. So if I want to do a travel film, if I want to do B-roll for you guys, if I'm doing something that I'm really into and there's a high dynamic scene, I'm going to shoot SLOG2 because of its dynamic range. Now, usually with passion projects and stuff that you're really into, you don't mind grading footage, so it makes it even more fun. You have a vision in your head and you just put a lot more effort into it. But if I'm doing something where I need a fast turnaround time for a real estate agent or an interview, I'm not shooting SLOG2. There's just no point. That's going on eoshd or PP2 all day long. I'll tweak it very slightly and get it over to the client, and they will not notice it. They don't care if it's gonna be graded or not. And that's what I'm trying to express to you guys. It depends on the project that you're working on which picture profile to use. And that's how I approach it. If you guys have any other thoughts, let me know in the comments below while we're talking about this topic. So brushing upon more benefits of SLOG2, it looks super cinematic, and overall I love the look of it, but there's a lot of negatives. And besides having to know how to expose for it with the 2 stops over, watching your histogram and zebras, knowing how to grade it properly, you can have a ton of issues like noise in your shadows and artifacting on certain colors. Like these walls right here, they're like a cream color. I shot a house and I'm gonna show you guys that right now, and look at it. It's just completely destroyed. As I'm filming and I was exposed properly, the footage just looks like trash. I had to reshoot it. So this is the pros and cons of SLOG2. It looks super cinematic. I will always use it when I'm shooting travel films and passion projects or short films, but I won't really do it on client projects unless they want a heavy grade and this is going somewhere where it's gonna need that type of grading. Now, if you guys want me to get more in depth with SLOG2, I'm going to have 2 links coming up above, one on how to edit it and one on how to properly expose for it. So if that's something you want to learn and you have no idea where to start, or you want some tips and tricks on how to get the best SLOG2 footage, go check those out after this video. Now let's talk about CINE4. CINE4 is absolutely incredible. You have other YouTubers like Cody Blue and Hembu who have awesome CINE4 settings, and I like to switch between them. I think they work really well. Now the benefits of CINE4 is that it's very easy to expose. Me personally, I expose slightly over, and what I mean by that is by 0.3 to 0.5. I don't go over 2 full stops like SLOG2. There's no need, it'll look horrible. But I noticed that CINE4 can have some noise in the shadows if your shadows are touching the bottom left of the histogram. So just take a look at the histogram. Remember, you always want that valley in the middle of your histogram when exposing any type of videos or photos, so that when you stretch it out, it looks the best in post. Now, another really cool thing is CINE4 is rather flat, not like SLOG2 flat, but it's flat, and you can get really nice cinematic looks for it. Now, a lot of people don't like CINE4 because the highlights are very harsh, and that's why a lot of people have been switching to hybrid log gamma. Now we'll talk about that another day. I'm still testing out hybrid log gamma, but when it comes to CINE4 and a client wants a specific grade, and I know it's going up on the internet where it can possibly have compression, CINE4 is my go-to all day long. Another awesome thing about CINE4 is that it has a minimum ISO of 200. SLOG2 has a minimum ISO of 800, and 9 times out of 10 requires you to use a variable ND filter or an ND filter of some sort. I've not used ND filters with CINE4 and never really had issues. So once again, very simple to expose. It looks great, but there's the trade-off where the highlights could look a little bit harsher. Now, the last picture profile that I'm going to touch base on is PP2, which I believe is the regular standard movie picture profile. And we could also compare this to eoshd because they're both very similar. Now, if you guys don't know what eoshd is a custom settings that you put in your picture profile, and it tries to claim Well, they claim that you're going to have Canon light colors out of the box. Now, I personally do like them. I had to tweak them a little bit, and I will also link up right on that slidey thing. I don't know what side, I think it's this side, a link to a review that I did on that, so you guys could check that out. Now, with these picture profiles, they handle low light incredibly. On my a7 III, I could crank up that ISO and I'm barely going to see any noise, as you guys are seeing on the screen right now from some expo coverage that I did in pretty dark area. Now that's the best thing about these. Now, when you have controllable sets and you're doing interviews like you're seeing right now on the screen, it looks awesome also. You have your highlights are looking really good. Everything just looks great. So depending on your setting and the picture profile that you're using, you can get great results with any of them. It's just which one's more practical for you, which one's going to have the best workflow options available to you, and at the end of the day, which one is aesthetically pleasing to you and the client that you're working with. Now, this picture profile is super easy to expose. It's right dead at the center at 0, and a lot of people notice the highlights blow out right away, which is going to happen with this type of picture profile. So once again, there is always a trade-off. But with the controlled environment that you're in, you shouldn't have any issues whatsoever. And I really do like this picture profile for low light and for gigs that I know I'm going to need a fast turnaround time for, that don't really require any sort of specific style of a grading process when it comes to the end all result. All right, guys, so that wraps up today's video going over which picture profile is best for you. I know it was kind of a vague topic because there is no right or wrong answer, but as you develop your skill set as a filmmaker and understand your equipment, the best thing you can do is understand which picture profile is right for which type of situation. And that's all I want to tell you guys. So get out there and practice. I hopefully will have some hybrid log gamma settings for you guys and some experience using that picture profile very soon. I've been taking my sweet time and doing a lot of different adjustments, dialing in my settings before I let you guys know my overall opinion. And I know you guys will really like that. So if you guys really thought this video had some value, please leave a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below which picture profile is your go-to for passion projects and also client work. I'm actually curious to find that out. And until next time, guys, I'm Jason Anthony. We could catch up on Instagram below. Peace.